Let's talk about the biggest mistakes most people don't see coming. You've decided to move forward with a custom home you've been dreaming about. You spent countless hours scrolling Instagram, saving ideas, and refining your vision. Your perfect home is starting to come into focus. But here's the reality. The biggest mistakes I see people make when building a custom home isn't the design, it's the land they choose. Your vision is getting real, but you haven't selected the most important piece yet, the home site. So how do you find the right property? How do you know what it's really worth? And how do you make sure it's actually suitable to build on? Today, we're going to talk about one of the smartest ways to avoid costly mistakes and navigate this process successfully. And that's hiring the right real estate professional. Welcome back to the Insider's Guide to Custom Homes. I'm your host, Rick Bell, and for over 40 years, I've been building custom homes throughout South Florida. My goal is to help you understand the process, avoid the pitfalls, and give you the tools to build your home the right way. Today, we're kicking off our Realtor series. We're going to break down how a seasoned realtor can bring real value to your home building team. They can help you find the right home site, navigate due diligence, and even connect you with the right professionals to build your home. Let's start by clearing up something that confuses a lot of people. What's the difference between a real estate agent and a realtor? In Florida, and most states, anyone selling real estate must be licensed. That means coursework, testing, and a basic understanding of real estate law and ethics. But here's the truth. A license represents the minimum qualifications. It doesn't guarantee experience, specialization, or real-world knowledge. A realtor, on the other hand, is a member of the National Association of Realtors. This is a private organization focused on higher standards, ethics, and ongoing education. They also have access to tools like the Multiple Listing Service, or MLS, standardized contracts developed with real estate attorneys, and comparable market data, all of which can help you make better decisions. But even that alone isn't enough. The real difference comes down to three things: experience, track record, and specialization. Just like architects and builders, not all realtors operate in the same space. Some focus on high volume and mid-market homes. Others specialize in luxury properties, and some focus heavily on specific geographical areas. I personally like realtors who farm an area because they tend to have deep local knowledge that can be extremely valuable when you're searching for a home site. Now here's where things really start to change. Buying land is not the same as buying a resale home. There's far more to it than doing an MLS search and walking a property. Back in episode 7, we talked about one of the most important parts of this process, called due diligence. And if you haven't listened to that episode yet, I highly recommend you go back and do that, because due diligence is where a lot of people either protect themselves or make very expensive mistakes. At a basic level, due diligence means doing your homework before you buy. That includes things like checking soil conditions, zoning and local codes, environmental factors, property history, and liens and restrictions. And here's the key point. A great realtor, especially one who knows the area well, can sometimes uncover issues that aren't obvious. Things like poor quality fill, drainage or flooding concerns, zoning complications, or even a problematic history tied to the land. Let me give you a real-world example. I had a client come to us after they had already purchased a home site on their own. They were emotionally attached to the area, they loved the location, and they felt like they had found the perfect property. But they hadn't gone through a proper due diligence process before buying. Once we got involved and started digging deeper into the site, we uncovered something that completely changed the situation. The property had actually been used as a landfill, and not just a typical landfill. This included material from water treatment plants, along with experimental fill made from ground-up refuse, totally unsuitable for construction. Now think about that for a second. This wasn't something you could see just walking around the property or browsing listings online. And it ultimately cost over $100,000 just to remediate the site before we could even begin construction. That's $100,000 before a single footing went into the ground. And the truth is, situations like this are more common than people realize. This is exactly why having the right realtor matters. A knowledgeable, experienced professional who understands the history of the land can help you avoid situations like this entirely. Another area where a great realtor brings value is negotiation. They don't just show you properties, they help you determine what a property is actually worth. They may also have access to opportunities you won't find online, things like pocket listings and off-market deals. Taking your time to find the right realtor, one you can trust, one that will work for you, is essential. Paying too much for land can impact your build. And remember, when you're hiring a realtor, you need to do your homework. You need to ask for references and look at their track record. In the long run, this will pay dividends. Coming up next in the series, I'll be interviewing top realtors from around South Florida. I hope this episode helps you better understand the value of having the right realtor on your team. Thanks for listening to the Insider's Guide to Custom Homes. I'm your host, Rick Bell. Build smart, stay in control, and build your custom home the landmark way. Relax and enjoy the journey.